Hey, good afternoon, everyone. It's Bill with Dynamis Learning Academy. I'm here again with you this week for this week's edition of our Lunch and Learn series. It's nice to be with you again. Helen has afforded me the opportunity to do several of these, and I'm enjoying them and feeling like I'm getting to know a lot of our clients and prospective clients through this Lunch and Learn. So if you're with me live and you're looking at this, welcome. I'm glad you're here. And if you're seeing this on a delayed broadcast or video, then we're glad you're tuning in and listening to this very important information. So today, our topic for this Lunch and Learn is motivational tips on how to motivate your student for the upcoming school year. Uh, Unbelievably, right? Right around the corner. In fact, I know some are starting Monday, August 1st, others August 5th. I spoke with someone yesterday that the 8th is the start date, and then the latest I heard is August 10th, which to me is still early compared to when I was in school and when we started. But it's just around the corner. So I thought today's topic would be very beneficial, and hopefully you can glean a lot of information from this Lunch and Learn on ways to motivate your student for the upcoming school year. If you joined me last week, we spoke somewhat similarly on a topic of preparation and how you could prepare as a parent in helping prepare your student. So, not surprisingly, you'll find that some of the things we talked about are going to be said again this week in some form or fashion, not exactly the same way, but there will be some topics that will and suggestions that will be the same because one way to prepare and motivate your student is to be prepared on your end, right? If your child understands the preparation and what your expectations are, maybe not outwardly, but they're going to be motivated to accomplish what you expect. So, my first point I wanted to bring out today is one second, I'm going to start a banner as well. So, um, one thing I wanted to bring out today is structure, 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 right? Like, um, you need to have everything in place, set the expectations for your child, and because of that, your child will be motivated to do the work, to do what you want them to do. Some ways we talked about structure. There are a lot of different ways to do that, right? Is in terms of setting up a place in the house where they can work on their schoolwork and do the assignments that they're being asked to do. Uh, Setting a schedule, we talked very clearly about that in how using technology to set schedules and expectations and reminders for your child are all part of the way you, as a parent, may be more structured in helping them achieve their goals. Uh, Helen, who I work for at Dynamis, brought up a good point after the session last week, and I think she commented that with Google spreadsheets, you can easily set up a calendar with various columns, expectations, deadlines, assignments, so that there really is no reason for your child or you not to know what the expectation is. They can all refer to the spreadsheet, they can all refer to their phone, and they can be reminded, if need be, of what the expectations are you set. So motivate your student through expectations. You have to be consistent. If it's an expectation and you're not consistent with it, and your child knows that they can get around it or don't have to do it, then it's really not an expectation, is it? It's a want. And in terms of want, the child then kind of is the person in charge, right? If they want to do it, they do. If they don't, they don't. So your expectations have to be set. And once they're set, you're consistent with them. And that's often hard to do. I mean, certainly you can alter an expectation, but as long as your child understands that the expectation is always there, that will help motivate them toward getting the task accomplished because they really know that they have no other alternative, right? If the expectation is set and you know that they have to do it, they know they have to do it, right? And they'll be motivated to do it. Maybe not outwardly as much, but certainly inwardly. Um, what other ways I want to talk about in terms of how we might build in a schedule and be set the expectations is build in a reward system. I have two or three parents and children I tutor that I see them doing this, right? Whether it's uh, they have video game time after they complete their homework, or they're able to go to a movie or go outside and play basketball or whatever the case may be. If there's a reward system built in, right, that helps motivate the child. Now, we're going to talk about different kind of reward systems. And I know that sounds kind of elementary, but if you stress that it's a reward system and that in fact for them to be able to do these type of rewards, that helps with the motivation, which is the ultimate theme for today. Uh, if they know they can't go play basketball or they can't go talk on the phone with their friends until they complete their work, they'll be a lot more motivated to do it. But there are other reward systems that I want to talk a little bit about. Um, let's talk about it not in terms of what they get to do, but in what they use to accomplish the task of school. Like maybe their reward system is built around these awesome school supplies or uh, something that they didn't have for school last year, a great backpack or a great phone or a great computer. I mean, I know we're talking about budgeting here, but reward systems that aid them with their task at school are nice as well. So if I think I'm going to get to work on an assignment, but I'm going to get to work in a cool new desk area of my home with a cool light that my mom and dad have bought me, or that I have this cool computer system that I can work on, or that I've got all these great colorful pens and notebooks that I can use, I'm going to be a lot more motivated to do it, right? Instead of just the typical go sit over there and do your work, right? Get it done. If you get it done, you can go do this, right? That's all good. But just remember that material things, if the budget allows, and I realize we have budget, we all do, right? But if the budget allows, think about reward systems based in a school type of reward, right? Maybe a new outfit for school, or maybe new tennis shoes to wear to school the next day, or something of that nature. Those are all great rewards that if you're scheduling it and building it into the expectation can go a long way toward motivating your student. So I just wanted to mention that because as a child, I can remember with my mom saying, uh, when are we going to buy school supplies and going school shopping, right? That was a highlight of my year. I remember going to do that, whether it's new shoes or a new outfit or uh, getting all kind of new supplies to write with at school, a notebook and a pen container and all those things that now we don't use as much. But those were memories of my childhood that I look forward to. So let's don't forget that as parents and as adults that, you know, reward systems can often be based in things that help motivate our child. Next, I want to talk a little bit more about that you need to get involved early with your teacher, with the child's teacher. Get to know them, know their expectations, so that you can then transfer their expectations to your expectations. And you don't wait around on that, right? Like, we don't want your child struggling at first or not knowing what the expectations are of the class. So if your child sees you become immediately involved with the teacher, whether it's in person, via email, virtually, however the case may be, get involved early and let your child know how involved you are in their schoolwork and in their school success. That will go a long way in keeping them motivated, right? And that doesn't have to be, I don't want you to infer something that I'm not meaning here. That's not in a negative, scrutinizing, like, I'm going to get on to you if you don't do this way. That is not what I mean. What I mean is for you to get involved and be positive and foster a positive environment with the teacher, your child, and you. Because in the end, it's all three of you working together. And if you're working together in unison, you will have the success and you will see the success that you want from your child in achieving the potential that you want them to achieve in this upcoming school year. So have fun, joke, have fun with the teacher, be involved with things they do in the class, go to the class, sponsor things, bring refreshments, whatever the case may be. There are lots of ways. I know that as a teacher, I love for my parents to be involved. You can do that, but it's in a fun, positive way that your child is going to see, hey, you know, my mom and dad, they like the teacher, they love this school, they love my class. We're going to have a good year, and I'm going to learn, and I'm going to be involved and do the things I need to do to be successful. So don't overlook that fact. Your involvement, your knowledge, your relationship with the teacher is crucial to motivating your child and keeping them motivated throughout the year, right? The point is not to motivate your child for day one. The point is to motivate your child for day 2, 3, 4, 5, and weeks 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and all throughout the year, right? They can't just go all in and then have nothing. The motivation needs to remain there throughout the year. And while we're talking about that, I want to talk a little bit about why we at Dynamis can be so helpful in doing that with you. It takes a village. You've heard that expression many times in politics, unfortunately, too. You hear it takes a village. But in your child's learning, it does take a village. And we at Dynamis can really aid you in this. And let me tell you how. It's what I just spoke about. We want, as a tutor at Dynamis and all our other tutors, one thing we specialize in is we want to get to know your teacher too. We don't want to tutor your child and not know the teacher or not know what they're covering or not what their expectations are. We want to have the syllabus. We want to know their testing schedule. We want to know when they give tests, when they give unit tests, when they are doing out of class activities, so that we can individually support that as a tutor. And I have to tell you, that's one reason I'm at Dynamis. That's one reason I love working here, is because we not only taught the talk, we walk the walk. We want to know your child's teacher, and we want to know you, the parent, and we want you involved when we're tutoring, right? Like if we come to every tutoring session and you're never involved and we aren't able to talk to you about what went well, what didn't go well, what we need to focus on next, whatever, then how beneficial is that really, right? So we want to be as motivational to your child as you are. So that way we can go in and say, you know, Mrs. Smith in 5th grade math really liked for you, John, to do this, and let's work on how we can do this. And it's all about the relationship that we build. And that's what I wanted to speak of last in terms of this motivational. Your relationship with the teacher, your positive relationship with your child, and our relationship with your child and our relationship with your teacher are why we're so successful. Because we can go into every client and we can have things for them to do and teach them how to combine like terms in math, or how to multiply integers, or how to organize a 5-paragraph essay, right? But if we don't combine that instruction with the relationship that we build with your child and with you and with their teacher, it's not going to be near as successful. And I learned that early on as a teacher. The more you build a relationship with a student and with a parent, it just makes everything so much better. I can tailor my plans with something that I know that they'll enjoy, and it just makes all the difference in the world. So remember, here's the last point I want to make with that is just don't wait too long. You know, sometimes we hear, well, I want to see how my child is doing, and that's all fine and well, right? But what you don't want to do is wait until they're really struggling and they're really 4 weeks behind in math or 4 weeks behind in English, when we could be in there working with them individually, and that will keep them motivated throughout the year. Because the best motivation of all is when you like it, right? And you're learning from it and you enjoy it and you don't mind going to that class and you enjoy talking to Mr. Matt or Mrs. Panos when you come into their classroom because you like them, because you know they're working with you and they're working with your tutor and that we're all working together to make it a success. So I want to talk one last thing about something that an article we read just this past week. And this is the other reason why you don't want to wait too long. And that is the fact that I think it's no surprise to anyone if you do any kind of reading or check any kind of news or follow any kind of school system, the struggle is real for them to find teachers because teachers have been under a lot of pressure and demands on their time in the last few years, whether it be through virtual learning or new policies or whatever. And unfortunately, you're seeing some good teachers leave the field. And that's sad to me because we need good teachers and we need good teachers who care about your kids. So my point in saying this is that we're seeing that there's a shortage of teachers. And so what that translates to is when you have fewer teachers, you have more students per teacher. And what that translates to is that teacher has less individualized instruction time with your child. And that is the number one, this is what that article said, one of the number one frustrations of any teacher is that they feel like that the learning isn't accomplished as well because they don't have individual time to work with your child. And that's why I want you to stay on top of that as a parent, because if they're not getting that, that's what we love at Dynamis. I mean, that's what we do, right? We come to your house or we meet at a described location, or we even do it virtually as well. But we work one-on-one with your child, right? So that individualized time that they're not getting at school, they can get if you work with us at Dynamis. And we're starting to see calls on that already for this upcoming school year. So as Helen likes to say, I think the early bird gets the worm. Unfortunately, we have a finite number of tutors, right? And they get booked and their schedules book up. So if you see your child struggling early or you see the need early on, don't wait. Get with us. Helen has just released her packages for next year, and you can do 8, 12, or 24 packages. She has family packages if you have more than one child. So there are so many ways, and Helen's done a great job of this, of structuring her company so that we can provide the benefits you need as a parent to ensure the success of your child. So in summary, structure, structure, structure. This motivates your child. Set your expectations. Be consistent. Be positive. Have fun, but be consistent with those structures. Build in a reward system. Get to know your parents, the teachers. Get to know their wants, their likes, what they're doing. Make sure that your child understands that it's not this them against the world. It's them. It's you. It's the tutor if you have us. It's the teacher. It's all of us working together to make you have a great school year where you learn what you need to learn. And then again, just be positive. Everything we do, if we focus on the positive, so much, without me getting into detail, so much of today's world is built around negative talk, right? You see it on social media, you see it in the news, you see it in any type of communication, whether it be politics or the media or jobs or anything like that. So much of the focus, and I don't know how we got to this place, but it's so much is focused on the negative and people speaking rudely to each other and not being considerate of others and not having any accountability and expectations. That's exactly the opposite of what we want at Dynamis Learning Academy and what we want for your child. Let's be positive. Let's have fun. Let's keep them motivated throughout the year. And I guarantee you that you'll have the success that you're looking for. So I thoroughly enjoyed today. I've got the banner going along the bottom. You can reach out to Helen at that number or at her email address. I have the same email address. It's bill@dynamislearningacademy.com. And we will get started on all the things we've talked about today. Other than us giving you money for your budget for all that reward system, we can help you, right? So, and again, I know there's budgeting involved in that, so people do what they can. But I've thoroughly enjoyed being with you today. I'm going to be with you again next week. Helen's asked me to do next week as well, where we'll talk about some of the testing that schools do in the early part of the year and how you and us might prepare your student better for that testing. So until next week at this time, I look forward to seeing you. Please reach out to me with any questions or concerns, and I hope you got something from today's Lunch and Learn. Have a good day, everybody.